For centuries, royal portraits were made as statements of wealth and power, designed to amaze, inspire, and intimidate. As the role and perception of monarchs shifted through time, royal portraits also changed. Yet many retain recognisable symbols of tradition that emphasise continuity, particularly important for queens whose legitimacy to rule could be more easily challenged. Here we take a look at 4 key portraits of royal women on display in the Tudors to Windsors exhibition and explore why they were made and what makes them successful royal portraits.
This extraordinary portrait of Elizabeth I was commissioned by Sir Henry Lee, her champion, in an attempt to win back the Queen's favour. Elizabeth's unmarried status as the Virgin Queen is celebrated within the portrait in the white clothes that she wears. The wealth and status of the Queen are clearly evident in the lavish jewels that stud her clothes and the strings of pearls representing purity that hang around her neck and are studded in her hair and on her winged veil. This extraordinary composition elevates the Queen above the mortal world. She is literally standing on the globe. She turns away from darkness and towards the light and a time of peace and prosperity. Elizabeth I has perhaps the most extraordinary iconography of any of England's queens. As an unmarried queen regnant, she and her courtiers and the artists who they commissioned created a range of images to present her power and authority.
Royal portraits were sometimes used as important tools in marriage negotiations between the royal households across Europe. This is a portrait of 7-year-old Princess Elizabeth Stewart, who was daughter of James I and Anne of Denmark. She's been painted as a desirable princess who would have been attractive to most of the earls, dukes and princes across Europe. Her marriage was more about dynastic politics and creating an important alliance between England and another European power. She would eventually marry Frederick V, Elector Palatine, and while her marriage brought some glory to the English throne, she was quickly forced into exile with her husband after he lost an important battle and spent most of the rest of her life in The Hague. For me, this portrait of Queen Victoria is the very epitome of a state royal portrait. This colossal, imposing painting shows the Queen at her most regal and most powerful, sitting enthroned beneath a canopy of state, wearing the imperial state crown and holding the sceptre with the cross shortly after her coronation. The painting very much reflects an optimism for a new age, an age which was untainted by the scandals, excesses and illnesses of her predecessors. It has an almost quasi-religious aura to it, as the Queen looks up to the light. The portrait very much conforms to coronation portraits that preceded it and have followed it, but it skillfully blends tradition and splendour with youth and innocence.
This photographic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II was commissioned from Cecil Beaton to mark her coronation. The backdrop suggests that she is seated in Westminster Abbey, the site of her coronation, with a curtain draped above suggestive of a canopy of state. She is shown at her most regal, wearing the imperial state crown and the coronation robes and holding the sceptre with a cross in it. And these symbols of royal authority are echoed throughout the portraits of queens across history. Just as with Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth II came to the throne after a period of difficulty in the country, and hopes were high among the British public that Queen Elizabeth's coronation would be the beginning of a long and peaceful reign.